your people, you become so dirty in their eyes that you use pregnant women, innocent girls, virgins to feed your God, called Kankanyame. Do you know what a conspiracy theory is? What conspiracy theory have you ever heard or do you have in mind? In addition, the theory also has it that JB Danquah, the immediate past president's grandfather also, was the one who was financed by the CIA, so to say, he was the tool used by the CIA to overthrow Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And after they even succeeded, the things that they did just to make sure they wipe him out of the system, so barbaric, so inhumane. And they used our own people to do this. A series of attempts that were orchestrated to overthrow Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had the CIA, the American CIA, as the main orchestrators. Recently, there was a video on social media where a young lady was beating up an elderly woman. Why did you come to pass here? What did you come to do here? Who sent you? You were a witch. And was beating. And on social media, I was waiting to see how the media will pick this up. Nobody cared. And so this is the belief system. And they capitalized on it to defame Kwame Nkrumah. History bears testimony to some facts which are we read in books. For example, we know how Adolf Hitler burnt those Jews, in Germany. We have read about World War, the First World War, the Second World War, But there are some that remains a mystery, but with some signals from series of occurrence or events that alludes to the truthfulness or to the fact that these theories might be true. I always say that you and I were not there. In Ghana, there's a very popular theory, conspiracy theory, that suggests that a series of attempts that were orchestrated to overthrow Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had the CIA, the American CIA, as the main orchestrators. In addition, the theory also has it that JB Danquah, the immediate past president's grandfather also, was the one who was financed by the CIA, so to say, he was the tool used by the CIA to overthrow Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Some of these theories, we were just listening to them. I mean, it's right from infancy, we could hear the elders saying it. It was being said here and there. We would just listen to them. Until recently, you know that this there's one thing about the CIA. After they have committed all the atrocities and all the crimes, you know, they record they have entry and records for all the crimes that they commit. And then in time that they find, I don't know how they determine what time to release those documents. They release them. And you see that if you went in bed, you were in bed with them, at that point, you will be disgraced and humiliated. That's exactly what happened. That the CIA releases a document which purports to say that JB Danquah received money from the West, I mean from America, to help them overthrow Kwame Nkrumah. That is the tactics that they used to overthrow all those great African leaders who had their country at heart. And you see, they used our own people against us. Because you see, everybody has a price. One lecturer told me, one professor in Germany told me that, Rashid, everybody has a price. After pondering and thinking about it for a long time, I realized that this is true. Everybody has a price. You see, until you are presented with that thing that can sweep you off your feet, you might not know that you have a price. And until you have a firm conviction and that you have made a firm decision to be patriotic. So it's an intentional decision that you have to make, to be that you would want to be patriotic and you would want to see your country progress. There and then, perhaps you might be able to avoid being used. JB Danquah was used, according to CIA documents. That's in circulation. And you see, when you look at, I mean, from what we read, the attempts that were made on Nkrumah to kill him, to overthrow him, and after they even succeeded, the things that they did just to make sure they wipe him out of the system, so barbaric, so inhumane, and they used our own people to do this. You see, when you look at it critically, you might, you see, I wonder if it's worth it dying for a country called Ghana. But you see, if you don't do it for the sake of the gullible masses, the ignorant masses, the naive masses, the innocent masses, then there will be cruel people, greedy and wicked people who will turn the country upside down, just as we are witnessing from the previous government. And even worse. Now, Look at what mechanism, the machinations that were perpetrated. They looked at the system and they realized that Ghanaians are like superstitious and gullible. Our belief system is said that we don't really have. We are superstitious. Let me say that too. And so they came with the theory of kain nyame, where it is said that pregnant women were sacrificed or fed to this idol. It was even said that the Nkrumah had an animal, or a lion or an animal, besides the gods, which feeds on human flesh. There were so many things that were said. And you know how people could exaggerate. My country, Ghana, people can talk about things that they have never seen before as if they saw it in their naked eyes. You know, Motia, the way people talk about dwarfs, Motia, yet they have never seen a dwarf. The way people, my country, talk about what we call witches, to the point that we have witch camp, the Ambaga witch camp, where people are dumped, especially, what should I say especially? It is the old folks, women who are old and medically, we see that they are going through, some are going through menopausal symptoms. Recently, a friend of my dad got missing. A very responsible man had reached an age where he could not locate his house. One morning, he went out and could not come back home. He got missing, and the family was like, "Our dad is missing." It was a very sad situation. And they only found him dead. May his soul rest in peace. They found him dead somewhere. He was dead. There are so many things that happen when it comes to old age. But out of ignorance, my country called Ghana, especially in those rural areas. Should I say rural areas? Even in the city. Recently, there was a video on social media where a young lady was beating up an elderly woman. Why did you come to pass here? What did you come to do here? Who sent you? You were a witch. And was beating. And on social media, I was waiting to see how the media will pick this up. Nobody cared. And so this is the belief system. And they capitalized on it to defame Kwame Nkrumah. And so you see, when you are depicted like this to your people, you become so dirty in their eyes that you use pregnant women, innocent girls, virgins, to feed your God, called Kain Nyame. As if that was not enough. Any attempt that Nkrumah made to unite the whole of Africa, these people made sure that in the masses saw it as throwing money away. So they keep saying Nkrumah took a whole a huge amount and gave it to our neighboring countries. He should have focused on Ghana. That is what they say. And some of these people have been able to brainwash their children. So they didn't die with these kinds of ideologies. We have youth currently. I see some comments on social media today who are also thinking in this way. So this is what techniques, and you see this the African society. I mean, I can't say it is the same throughout Africa, but I think superstition is rife in Africa, and for that matter, it serves as a uniform platform for all these things to thrive. So the same pattern, like as I have described, when you go to the other countries where these promising Pan-Africanists were maimed and killed, it's the same story. It is the same story in different forms, but it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern all over. What wasn't said about Gaddafi? What wasn't said about Gaddafi? Now, the worst of this is the fact that this bloc of opposition to these Pan-Africanists formed political parties. In our country, Ghana, they managed, I mean, Rollins has said it in his videos, that they keep changing their names. UP, Danquah Buzia tradition, now is the NPP. Do you remember that in Ghana, a time came where dead bodies were found all over the country? You go here, all over the major cities. You go, and the next morning there's a dead body lying somewhere. The next morning there's a dead body lying somewhere. When NPP wanted power, later we got to know that it was a strategy they used. And they used this strategy to defame the sitting government. That the sitting government is into rituals. Recently, when Mahama distributed parts, do you know what they are saying about the part? You would allow your daughters to go for this part. Mahama is using the part for whatever. Because this is the belief of Ghanaians. So they will capitalize on it. Until we get rid of this kind of superstitious beliefs, we are still going to be vulnerable to these people. We live to see. We are here. We live to see. Now they are divided and they are fighting. Let them unite. And let's see the strategies that they will be coming with. We are here. It's the same thing they will do. Previously, there was no social media. Today, thanks to social media. Thanks to social media. So this is what they did. And the whole country was like, really? So NDC is using dead bodies, rituals, doing this, doing that. Now it came to light that they will go to the neighboring countries where they find dead bodies in the morgues that do not have relatives or unidentified dead bodies. They buy them. They buy these dead bodies and deposit them at various places. After all what transpired, we never got a family that came out to say that, yes, that dead body was our relative, or that was our relative, or there's a funeral going on somewhere. That body that was dumped somewhere, there's a funeral going on somewhere for that dead body, or the families have surfaced There was no occasion like that. There was no occasion like that. So all these dead bodies were from foreign lands, abandoned bodies, bodies that do not have relatives, unidentified bodies. They bought them, and then they will put condom. They used to put blood, like the transfusion kits, scandalously, to give the impression that blood has been taken from these bodies for whatever purposes. This is exactly the strategies that they use. They use and several. There are so many strategies. The foundation is very important in everything that you do. A crooked foundation or a weak foundation, the building will come tumbling down. The foundation, that's what they call tradition. Tradition. I call it the foundation. What was the motive? On what basis did you build up that society, that political party? You can never run away from your foundation. It is not possible unless you break down the structure and build a new one with a good motive. I'm telling you, we are very lucky as a country to have NDC back in power. Well, you can be a die-hard NPP. I can't change your mind. You can close your eyes to the facts. I can't change your mind. After all, prophets who were sent by God himself came and they were opposed, even though the truth was just glaring. They were opposed and they were maimed, except that they didn't succeed. The enemies did not succeed. So that is it. The foundation on which the MPP was built, it was built on corruption, it was built on wickedness, it was built on trickery, it was built on forgery, it was built on lies, and they managed to bring on board innocent, well-meaning, knowledgeable Ghanaians. And they assassinated these people character-wise. Look at the utterances that they are making in their so-called thank you talk. Listen to the utterances. Somebody says he is rich. I am rich. Look at this is you see in character. The most honorable character is humility. The most honorable character that a person can exhibit is humility. Doesn't the Bible say that humble yourself and God will raise you? And then you become arrogant and God will bring you down. The most hateful character in a human being is arrogance and pride. Arrogance and pride. And that is what brings the man down quickly. If you exhibit such traits and you have people who do not see anything wrong with that trait you are exhibiting, they think that you are being vocal, you are saying the truth. It is not every truth that we see with our mouth. It is not every truth. If your mother is stupid, you observe that your mother is stupid. You observe your mother is a stupid woman because of the activities she does. You can find a nice way of telling your mother she is stupid without her getting offended. But if you tell your mother in the face that, mother, you are a stupid woman, the same one situation, but if handled arrogantly and stupidly, the result will not be an honorable result. And so, in as much as somebody thinks that he has money and he gives so and so money, if not for him giving them money, who do they think they are? You know, all those kind of comments. Papa ya papa no, when you do good, and you in your innermost heart, you know you have done good. Said goods, you don't really say it. The moment you say such words, the blessings involved in that good sublimes, vanishes. You are deprived of such set of blessings. And so you see how he is being deprived of such blessings. He's having sleepless nights. He doesn't sleep. If we know what these guys are going through, we would never wish we were in their shoes. And then, you see, like I said, they have managed to bring on board innocent people, and they have character assassinated them. I don't know. I don't know what. I do not want to be mentioning names. There are a lot of them. Some have seen how unwelcome they are and have opted out. Now, observe how John Dramani Mahama has conducted himself in these years, despite how he has been treated. Observe. You see, God has a way of also talking to man. But these signs are seen by people who like truth. If you are a person who observes truth, if your character is not corrupted, that when you see truth, you pretend, because it's not going in your way, you pretend it's not true. You speak against it. When you do that, you corrupt yourself. It's a corruption that you are bringing onto yourself, but you don't know. You keep doing it. So some of the politicians, they have become corrupted. That has become their nature. Unfortunately, some of the youth is towing the same lane. At the end of the day, the signs that God showed us previously, Ghanaians did not observe them. A lot of Ghanaians didn't observe these signs. God showed us so many signs in the previous government, in the previous year. And you see, if Nanado had not become president, we would never had opportunity of appreciating John Dramani Mahama. God has a way. And you see, truth will always defeat lies. It's a principle that can never be obliterated. You can't go against it. I mean, it will take a long time depending on the people. If the people embrace truth quickly, truth will quickly defeat lies. If not, lies can stay for long, but eventually, lies will not stay forever. That is how it is. So the principle that they have were nurtured on, which is the lies, keep popping up. It keeps popping up. That is why you see that the MPP is now in a mess. And for me, until the good-natured people in the MPP are able to seize the party, or better still, form another party with a proper foundation, they should just forget about the MPP. Forget. Because even if you deliberately decide, people deliberately out of their political ambitions decide to swallow and pretend as if everything is, it will pop up again. It's an egoistic thing. It will pop up again. For that matter, the NDC should also take cue. The NDC should also take a cue from what is happening. The foundation on which the NDC was built was a revolutionary foundation on which its basis was justice. No matter how you don't agree with me, the basis on which Rawlings found this was that this thing is collapsing, it's spoiling. What do I do? I need to save my country. What do I do? So out of that passion, Rawlings emerged, just like Ibrahim Traore. Now you see that when you look at the social media, there are some people who are also like, he seized power, he did that, he overthrew a government, he did that. You see, it comes to a time when you have no choice. If you have the power and you see clearly that you can handle this and take it to a smooth ride, and the driver behind the steer will kill all of you, and you decide that, oh, let's be democracy, let us allow the driver to ride like that, the driver will ride all of you into the ditch. So Ibrahim Traore, at least his people love him. They are jeering all the time. We see it on social media. We are not in the country, but we see it. Today, social media is giving us all the information that the media would have twisted. These opposition parties formed upon the foundations of corruption will buy all these media houses with their money because they have the money. They have stored up heaps of money. They buy all of them and twist information. Now social media is not for one person. You can't twist anything. You twist it and it is straight in here. So you are always being pelted with stones. You pass here and the light is on you. That is for the situation. We are fortunate to have it. If we use it properly, NDC is going to be in power for a very long time. It's been just 3 months or 4 months. And if you are a just person, you will congratulate John Dramani Mahama. If you are a just person, that's why I'm using this criteria. You need to be a just person to be able to congratulate him. If you are not a just person, you will still be doing those tricks. That's a kind of a misinformation, just to throw dust into the eyes of the gullible masses. So I would like to conclude by saying that the signs that God exhibited or showed to us previously we didn't see, but this time we saw them. It was so glaring when NPP will gather and will be promoting NDC candidates. Nanado will just lift somebody's hand and the angels will put the name of the other person, the NDC candidate, into his mind. To the point that at the point he doesn't even remember think that he had made a mistake. The signs were so glaring. The wind was telling us that NPP is time to go away. And I say upon Chaneno so who are in the 10. Had it not been for the death of the frog, we would not have been able to see how the actual length of the frog. I mean, trying to interpret directly. That's what I would say. So it was after this party has been overthrown that we see the corruption, the deep canker, the smelly canker, corruption that lies underneath the shiny foam. The shiny foam. The foam was so shiny that from the outside, you will be happy thinking that all is well. But all is not well. And they have strategically manipulated every aspect of the system. If John Dramani Mahama will be successful, he will have to overhaul the entire system. The judiciary, number one. The even the medical sector in terms of the health sector. We have seen recently what has transpired. That is how it is in all the major hospitals, including the local hospitals, because it is a number per profitability. Mahama has to completely overhaul the entire economy if he really means business. And he means business. Thank you very much for listening to me. I go by the name Rashid bin Jafar. On social media, I'm Ganaba. Love for one's country is part of faith. This I have quoted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thank you very much.